Hello everybody, my name is Senkara. I don't know why I decided to sing that, it just came out like that. Hello everybody, my name is Senkara and welcome back to Gray Dusk and Dawn. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. I don't know yet, I've recorded all of these in advance, so I'm on the same day, so I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Sure, let me know down in the comments, subscribe for more. And let's get on to Gray Dusk and Dawn. We're about to see what question John was going to ask. And I am curious about it. She listened in irritation as other people asked questions, but finally it was his turn. He cleared his throat nervously, but wasn't so uncomfortable as he might have been before. For those of us who want to have a career in this field, where do you think we can make the most difference? What balance do you see between regulating from the outside and trying to change organizations from within? Not a bad question, though Lizzie found herself wondering just how much it mirrored his thought process. He had discussed his thoughts about the future with her, of course, but there was something different about hearing him state them out loud in front of so many people. Different good or different bad? Usually something different. It's like, you know, oh, that's a good thing, he actually means it, but it could be bad, maybe shouldn't want to, I don't know. A good question, but a difficult one. I like to believe that the best answer is the FDCA or another regulatory body, but I'm not sure I'd recommend someone who hasn't started their career go that direction. We'll see what happens with our lobbying over the next few years. As for reforming from within, I'm tempted to say that's impossible. Look at soft synth. It carried the Japanese economy for a time, but now internal conflicts are threatening long-term deflation. In my mind, the biggest threat is that corporations will lack meaningful competition and make it effectively impossible for anyone to regulate them. So honestly, what might we need more than anyone is business majors. Interesting. Yeah. That got a laugh from the audience, but it struck Lizzie as a serious answer. John pondered it as well, his eyes contemplative as he returned to sit beside her. Lizzie was dying to know his thoughts, but for now she just smiled as he sat down beside her. None of the questions after that were particularly notable. Lizzie began to get nervous as their time ran out, since if something bad were to happen, it would likely happen toward the end. But nothing. Nothing? I hope. Nothing. Yet it ended without incident. As had every anxious situation in the years since the battle with Koitek operatives, but she was only slowly beginning to relax. If all those events had gone smoothly, maybe their wedding would as well. And if that was true, then what were they waiting for? Money? Time? Leaving uni? I don't know. Lizzie gazed towards John as they headed out, pondering the thought. But there were so many things that they were dealing with, so many considerations, so many thoughts. Yeah, you need to be calm and comfortable before you get married, because then you'll just get all sorts of shit like kids. And it was wonderful just being with him. There was no need to rush. That's right, no need to rush. Setting the matter aside, Lizzie happily discussed the speech with John as they headed home. There would be discussion groups, but the only person she wanted in her group was him. They talked late into the night and happily fell asleep still in their clothes. Aww, that's adorable. Aren't they cute? In the middle of a boring but beautiful psychology class, Lizzie partially listened to the lecture while she worked on her notebook. She was drawing lots of pictures of John now and getting a little better at it. Sometimes her focus drifted, though, and she found herself writing his name over and over again. Now that the event was past, most of her immediate fears had been put to rest, at least temporarily. If Koitek wasn't likely to be tracking them, then she had more options. Maybe they could get married after all. If so, she was disappointed that she'd made them wait so long. But how to get to that point? Though she didn't worry about making John afraid of her, she didn't want to add any stress to his life by seeming too insistent. Yeah, there's no need to do it now. It's good to wait till you're finished, I think. Finished university. And yet it had to be perfect. Their wedding would be another treasured memory of their lives together, and she wanted to carry around with her forever. A small part of her did worry that she was putting it off for some reason of his, that he was putting it off for some reason of his own. She couldn't doubt that he was fully committed to her, but there was a difference between living together and actually getting married. That is very true, but again, you know, wait till university's over, you're out of debt, you know, and then you can get married, get a house, have some kids, you know how it be, you know. The professor said something that drew some of their attention away from what really mattered. Some of her attention away. That list sounded like it would be on the exam, and he did like to include things that were lecture only to catch sleeping students. Lizzie quickly scribbled it down to memorize later, irritated at the distraction. The only reason she was even in the class is that she needed the credit to graduate. At first, Lizzie had actually been interested, wondering if she could learn anything about depression that would help her be a better partner to John. But mostly the class was just useless. Oh man, this brings me back to one of my first classes. So many jokes about psychology students, I love it. Sorry if you're a psychology student. If you actually want to get into that field, then by all means. But like the jokes were like, you know, first year students always get into psychology to learn how their parents screwed them over or something, you know. I don't know, I thought it was funny. Anyway, everything was focused on specific patterns of thought and declaring them to be unnatural. Well, that's a bit offensive, when they didn't seem any stranger than the way most people thought, at least not to her. Trying to engage with it mentally just irritated her. And what they said about depression just made her angry. They talked about depression like it was a simple problem that could soon be cured. The professor was even a fan of Koitek. The bastard. Well, you're at a university, they're all lefties, it's, you know, what to expect. Lizzie was certain that if he had his way, they'd take away her John and replace him with a different person. How so? Without realizing it, her writing in the notebook had become sketchy and angry. Lizzie refocused and tried to draw him again. The way he looked, the way he came through sadness and showed her that quiet happiness deep within his eyes. When the lecture ended, Lizzie wasn't quite there, so she bit her lip and tried to finish quickly. No one usually paid her any mind, so she could finish and leave herself in a good place. Holy shit! Oh shit. Oh, another one of you. Lizzie reacted instantly to the voice over her shoulder, slamming her notebook closed with one hand and reaching down for her axe with the other. She restrained herself from acting, instead focusing up on the girl beside her. That is some serial killer shit right there. I don't think my personal drawings are any of your business. It's everybody's problem if you're stalking some random guy. It's her boyfriend, okay? Lizzie forced herself to smile, not mess anything up for him. Her body trembled just slightly as she put her notebook away and rose to her feet calmly. That isn't some random guy, it's my boyfriend. And does he know you keep a stalker journal? Yeah, it's how we met, actually. Stop being such a bitch. No, but that was beside the point. She didn't understand. She didn't understand at all. She was insulting their relationships. Yeah, she is a bit. Lizzie evaluated her quickly. No physical threat, no capability to put up any resistance. No, don't kill. Wait. No, I saw her. Don't kill her yet. Yet? Well, where's the better option? Don't kill her at all. Shit, that's tricky. Kill her. It makes you think you can only kill her, but luckily I scanned for don't kill her yet, wherever that went. So I'm not gonna kill her. That would be a bad idea. It wouldn't be good. John wouldn't like that. Don't kill her yet. Wait till she's alone and no one can see. Taking a deep breath, Lizzie maintained control for John's sake and answered calmly. I don't think it's your place to meddle with our relationship. Yeah, no, this is just like what we were talking about last week. Either he doesn't know and you're creepy as hell, or he does and you have some kind of weird codependent relationship. Leave them alone! If you can't see you need help, you need someone to help you. Yeah, they're helping each other. It's not a codependent relationship, they help each other. And she's getting better, okay? Leave her alone. You shouldn't say things like that. Look, I'm just applying what we learned. John is a kind person. He wouldn't judge me like you do. Then he's just enabling your condition. No! Lizzie took a deep breath and took a moment to think. No, that's not true. It's been said before, but she's getting better, and writing this stuff down is helping her get better, right? Right? I'm no psychologist. Slit her throat immediately, remove her fingers and feed them to her, befriend her until an opportunity for extensive torture, end the conversation quickly, and acquire napalm, bury her alive, end the conversation and tell John all about it, strangle her with her own intestines, remove her cleanly and dispose of the body. End the conversation and tell John all about it. Is good idea. Ending the conversation quickly is like panicking, you know, like she could be right. No, tell John all about it. We can have a discussion. It can be a good thing. Only her promises to him prevented Lizzie from doing what she wanted to do. Instead, she gave the other girl a smile. The professor also said that analysis should only be done by professionals. Are you a certified professional? Oh, snap. You tell her, Lizzie, that's my girl. The response is nothing special, only the best that Lizzie could manage under such stress. Yeah, but still. Yet the other girl took a step back, suddenly uncertain. Yeah, that's right, you bitch. Look, I was just making an observation, okay? Well, stop being such a douche about it. Perhaps you could make such observations about your own relationship. Oh, snap. Yeah, get out of here. A moment later, the girl fled class with remarkable speed, as she should. Lizzie suppressed the urge to give chase. That had not been entirely wise of her, but she didn't care about that right now. Her world was still hollow, and she slowly became aware that she was gripping the handle of her axe so tightly that it hurt, though her mind still knew exactly what it wanted to do. Lizzie remembered John and set those thoughts aside. That's right. It's okay, Lizzie. It's okay. You're crazy, but it's okay. You're getting better. You're helping yourself and each other. Refocused, Lizzie carefully loosened her grip, then headed home at the highest speed that wouldn't draw attention. When she arrived, she threw herself into John's arms and held him tightly. He looked concerned, and she hesitated for a moment. The words spilled out of her in a white-hot flood. She held nothing back, telling the story in a disjointed tangle of events, her emotions, and what she wanted to do. John just held her and listened, not judging in the slightest. Being in his arms always calmed her. And soon, Lizzie was closer to what others would consider normal. She did like being this way, happy and peaceful, and she could do more for John like this. It was an unintended side effect, and it stopped her from slaughtering anyone. Well, that's always good, Lizzie, thanks. John, thank you. I'm always here for you, Lizzie. Again, those eyes that look like you're scared. Stop that. Please fix that. Just if I have one note about this whole series for the developers, it's fix that. As she regained clarity, she realized that she had added stress to his life by doing this, unless it's on purpose, in which case don't fix it, but screw you. Though she betrayed herself for it, Lizzie knew that he didn't mind helping her in this way. It doesn't make you angry. It doesn't make you angry to hear the things she said? It does a little. But she probably has a big head after learning new concepts in class and wants to use them on people. Yeah, I know those other people, they're so annoying. John is kind, too kind. I'll always protect him. You still got that third person thing, huh? And I'm glad you do, Lizzie, but you don't need to hurt anyone to protect me, okay? Okay. She embraced him warmly, trying to pour affection into him instead of just receiving it. Part of her regretted not holding back her thoughts, since it had drained him a little, but at least she knew that he would never judge her. That's right, see, it was a good thing, it was a good thing. She stayed in his arms for a while after that, setting aside her guilt over causing him stress and indulging in his kindness for a while. The girl had been right about one thing. A normal boy could never have been with her. John was special. That was why they were so wonderful together. And you are, right? They are, right? I think they are. Even as she regained her full calm, however, one thing didn't change in her mind. Maybe it wasn't possible due to the circumstances, but it would have been better to kill the girl. No, it wouldn't have. No, that would never have been better. It's not better. That would have been bad. That would have been very bad. After the incident, Lizzie spent a while sorting through her remaining thoughts. She had completely filled up one notebook, so she started a second and took it with her to boring class. Boring class. Friggin' class. It's boring. I hate boring class. Boring class is the worst. Class in general. Not a big fan. Subscribe so that I can live off this and don't need uni. Math wasn't boring, but she did find herself running her fingers over the edge of the notebook as she worked. I like math too. Later. For now, she would finish the requirement. Lizzie didn't mind math. It was straightforward, free of judgments. Yeah, math's great. Though she didn't understand her professor's talk about its elegance and beauty of math. It doesn't seem incomprehensible to her. He was alright for a non-John person. A non-John person, I love that. That's adorable. He was alright, yeah. Yeah, I like math. That's actually a really good way of putting it. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, math is straightforward, no judgment. It's simple, I can understand it. After class, she floated across campus to return home. Unlike English, it's very opinionated and it's so annoying. I hate opinions. Facts are all in. Facts, just focus. Logic, okay? Logic. The annoying couple tried to engage her in conversation again, but she was able to make polite small talk without committing to anything or keep on her way without wasting too much time. Then she arrived home and found John looking at her notebook. Uh-oh. Her focus condensed to a single point, flickering over everything. His posture, his eyes, the exact set of his mouth, the speed at which he looked upward at her. How fast was it? Once such a thing would have been terrifying. It still made her scared that she might have gone too far this time. Added doubt to his mind and ruined their relationship. And he did have a concerned look on his face, so there would be no simple, easy solution. Lizzie, are these things you felt you couldn't tell me? That's so sweet, the way he said that. Like, are these... He's not like, what the hell is this? This is not okay. He's like, are these things you thought you couldn't tell me? That is perfect. Oh my goodness, John, you're amazing. No wonder we love you. Ah! What? No, not at all. Okay, I do believe you. Have you been keeping notebooks like these as long as we've been together? No, it's pretty new. She squirmed a little at that. Her desire to smooth things over make him happy, warring with her desire to be completely honest with him. You gotta be honest, Lizzie. That will make him happy. I promise you, being honest with him will make him more happy than you lying to him. I swear, because John is like me, as we learned in the first game. Everything I chose was exactly what I wanted it to be, and I accidentally skipped. So just be honest, okay? I had books like these a long time ago, but no, I only started again recently. That's the only one, other than the new one I just started. Did something happen to make you more stressed? Is it something I've done? There was real pain in his eyes. Lizzie hated herself for a brief moment. She'd caused him more pain, and she'd sworn to herself that she would never do again. But her John never rushed to judgment, and he was strong, even if he was often sad, and she longed to protect him. Their relationship had been through more intense things. This wouldn't be the end. That's right. Lizzie carefully sat down opposite him. I mean, if he can handle being kidnapped and locked in a basement, he can handle this. It definitely isn't anything you did, John, and it isn't anything specific. I've just been a little anxious lately. I was worried the speech might be more of a problem. I can understand that. He kept leafing through the notebook, leaving Lizzie to squirm uncomfortably. It represented her true thoughts, but some of them felt a little awkward under his gaze, and she couldn't tell what he was thinking. The fact ate her up inside until she couldn't hold it back anymore. You hate me, right? Nothing in the notebook scares you? Oh, you don't hate me, right? Nothing in the notebook scares you? John looked up at her in astonishment. Are you mad? I could never hate you. Don't be silly, Lizzie. A moment later, he moved forward to embrace her, and though that was wonderful, it was his honest surprise at her question that meant the most. That's right. She had just been paranoid. There had been no need to fear. Oh, Lizzie, of course I wouldn't hate you. I'm just sad you were stressed and felt like you couldn't tell me. Yeah. Damn it, maybe I should have told him. Ah! No, the regret. I changed my mind. I should have told him at that time. No. But that's okay, because now we're moving forward in a healthy direction. This is good. This is really good. I love this. He wrapped an arm around her and pulled her so that they sat side by side, then pulled the notebook onto his lap. When I read these, I mostly just see you. This is who you are, and I can feel your love for me on every page. That made my heart skip a beat, I gotta say. Turning the page, to one of her drawings of killing Smith. His lips twitched a little bit of a smile, These are, I don't know, cute. Yeah, I've seen you murderous, Lizzie, and this is different, playful. If this helps you release your feelings, I think it's healthy. That's what I've been saying! Yes, John, you legend! Why are you literally me? I love you, you're the best, oh my goodness. Oh, yes. I was thinking it's cute as well. I was like, oh, I've seen her murderous, it's cool, this is playful. I love that. John, you're just so great. Oh, I love John. Oh, John, I should have known you would understand. I'm not perfect, but I'm always here and I want to understand you. Which is why I have to ask. Is it really nothing? Is there a reason you've been more stressed lately? Is it things like the girl in your psych class? Lizzie sighed and leaned against his chest, considering. It was a difficult question. Not just because she had to think about what the best answer could be, but also because she wasn't entirely certain herself. In her mind, her thoughts all flowed together. Speaking with him made them feel clearer, but it wasn't always easy. Ooh, tough choice, tough choice. Ask him to help dealing with stresses. That's a good one. Explain the thoughts that went into the notebook. Also good, and I'm very curious as to the thoughts that went into the notebook. I would love to hear that. Or reassure him it wasn't his fault. Well, we know it wasn't his fault. We already covered that, so no need. That's fine. Ask him to help dealing with stresses. That could be good. That's healthy. That's healthy. Explain the thoughts that went into the notebook. What thoughts went into the notebook? I think that would be good. I mean, John doesn't judge. He's like me. We don't judge. At all. So it should be okay. Yeah. Should I do that? That could be a nice bonding session. Look at what I drew. Ah, it's cute. It's Mrs. Smith dying in agony. It's adorable. Okay, let's go with that. You mentioned the terrible girl from the psych class. All the awful things she said about us. Lizzie flipped. Oh, I got a crack my back. Oh, I've been sitting here all day recording. That's good, it's been good fun. Lizzie flipped to the page after that event had occurred. Pages, actually. She had forgotten how much she had written after that, though now it was crystal clear to her. I want to see the pages, you know? I want to see what she wrote. Give me ideas. After it happened, I felt everything. I hate her, John. I still wish I could get rid of her. But you won't, right? No. Writing it down, it captures what I'm feeling somehow. When I look over it again, I remember all the emotions, but there's some distance now. They're not as strong inside me. I think I get that. Maybe it's a healthy thing. So I do worry that sometimes you get yourself more worked up writing out your thoughts. But it doesn't have to be writing, John. I get the same effect from talking to you, and it's better that way. Not just because I'm talking to you, but because I feel you always have new thoughts and interesting things to say, and so sometimes I think about things differently. I'm glad to hear that. I'm always here to talk, Lizzie. I know. It's wonderful. But I don't have to share everything, do I? Sometimes what I'm thinking is just silly and it doesn't matter. I don't want to waste your time. He considered that very seriously, then pulled her a little closer with a smile. You can tell me anything at all, Lizzie, but don't feel obligated. Unless you don't have a working brain, everyone has tons of minor thoughts. They just pass through your mind. They don't matter unless you focus on them. I mean, I have a lot of dumb little thoughts there's no point sharing. That's not true. I'd love to see every single thought you ever think. I believe you. But since that's not the world we live in, we can just talk to each other, okay? She eagerly nodded and pressed herself against him even closer. Aww. She was right to talk to him. John always had good things to say. But as warm as things were between them, Lizzie felt a bit of hesitance. When she looked at his face, she saw something shift and realized that there was something less pleasant he wanted to bring up. Had something in the notebook upset him? Her heart began hammering in her chest. There is one thing we need to talk about, though. This page, for example. Lizzie blinked in surprise and scanned it quickly. It was a page of dense writing where she talked about him, largely about her love for him and many other things. What could be amiss there? Good question. Do you always write pronouns for me with a capital letter? I noticed that. I actually noticed that in the game thing. Every time she says him or he, it's with a capital letter. And I actually clicked on that. Oh my goodness, I'm a genius. I didn't bring it up. I didn't think too much of it, but I noticed that. Oh, cause using capital letters for pronouns, that's what you do with God. That's what you do with the big G, you know? Capital H, capital H. Both he and him have an H. But you get what I'm saying, right? So that, I get what you're saying, that her doing that is worship. It's like seeing him as a god, as the big H, you know? Oh, that's clever. The big J, the J-Man! But he's no J-Man. Well, he is a J-Man, but he's not the J-Man. He's a J-Man. What am I saying? Anyway, of course, John. You're not like any other boy. You're the only person for me. I mean, I'm glad you love me, but I don't know about this. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with it. What? Why not? She stared at him, hiding the true dismay from her face. Inside, she was panicking, me too. Usually John was so calm and steady. She loved understanding more about him. See? Him with a capital H. When she actually felt confused, it always terrified her. Forced her to wonder if she was somehow drifting away from him forever. I know how intensely you feel things, but this just feels like a little much. I want you to be my partner, Lizzie. I don't want you to worship me. Yeah, see, just what I was saying. But John deserves it. You're wonderful and I love you with my whole heart, and that's good. But worship and love are they're a bit different. I know that, but since I love you too, I have to be honest with you. This worries me a little bit. This capitalized version of me. Is that really me? I'm almost afraid all of this for someone else that represents me. But isn't me in truth? That is such a me thing to say! Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, I hate that. I don't want people to have thoughts of me, whether they're good or not. I want them to like me for me, and I've been in that situation. Well, not quite this extreme. I haven't dated an Yandere, calm down. I think all my friends might just die if I did. But, oh dear, there goes my face. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's that feeling of, it's not actually me that she's thinking about. It's not actually John, but a perfect version, an image that represents him, but is not actually him. And I feel the same way. I don't like that. Whether it's good or not, you know, I would rather just like her for me, faults and all. No, it isn't like that at all. She clutched him to her, his head against her chest while she gripped one hand in his hair. But through her dismay, she began to understand. The thought upset her a little, and the idea that she might be worshipping some false form of him was terrifying. Thou shalt not have false gods. But she could understand it. John was still her John. If I just refer to you like any other boy, it doesn't feel right. Like I'm saying they're the same as you, and I would never betray you like that, John. Lizzie, I think I can understand that a little, but can you understand me too? I do, John, I do. I think she does. She stopped gripping him so tightly, and let him pull back slightly. They stared into each other's eyes for a while and both smiled. Nothing that had been said changed their love for each other, and they both knew it. Lizzie leaned forward to kiss him gently. Good, this is good. Oh, this is so good. John was being too humble, but she wouldn't argue over that with him. She understood why he was upset, and she didn't mean to suggest anything like that, certainly not to him. And now she needed to avoid suggesting it to herself. Maybe she could accomplish the same thing another way. It was only her fear that she was betraying him that made her think that way. If she had no fear, if she loved him, and even more utterly and totally than she ever had before, then it wouldn't matter if she capitalized the word or not. Wait, what? If she had no fear, if she loved him even more utterly, I don't know. No fear's good, but make sure you're not worshipping him, that's the point. But I understand what you mean with the whole treat him differently because he's different, right? But still, just be careful. Though she wasn't there yet, Lizzie felt peaceful enough to quiet her thoughts and just enjoy kissing him for a while. And kissing him. What? Oh, I see, with the little H, yeah. When they finished, John pulled back and smiled gently at her. Well, this has been quite a conversation. If you want to take a break, I understand, but if you want to keep talking, I'm here for you. All I want is for you to hold me a little longer, okay? Of course. He held her just like that for a long time. Even afterward, when they got their textbooks and began reading, she stayed close, letting her rest against him so they were always touching. By the time they were ready to go to bed, Lizzie no longer felt nervous about him discovering her notebooks, but she also had a feeling that she wouldn't need them anymore. That's good. I love this little game of character progression. Just a little dip into Lizzie's mind and her thoughts in a bad time for her. That's awesome. Life improved after their conversation. Lizzie overflowed with so much positive energy that she was constantly visiting John for extra kisses and showering affection over him. His reaction was more subtle, but she could feel that it made a difference to him. Though Lizzie wrote in her notebook occasionally, she didn't take it with her anymore and didn't feel too much need for it. In fact, when Aaron invited them to a party with his friends, Lizzie felt so free of stress that she didn't mind them going. Yay, that's good! To her surprise, the energy overflowed so much that she even enjoyed the party a little. She kept an eye on John at all times, noting his position. He was speaking with a mixed group. Casual, but not so casual that she worried about him. Since he was fine, she didn't mind spending some time with others. Aaron's friends were usually smart and thoughtful, if a little too passionate about irrelevant things for her liking. I feel that. That's good, Lizzie. Oh, look, she's not being all, look at my boobs. She's covered up, and because the girl is how Lizzie sees people in her mind. That was made pretty obvious because they were all exactly the same. But now she's seeing them good. This is good. Oh, and she's talking to other people. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I've done so well. At the moment, she was talking to a girl named Rose. Tyler? Rose, no. Anyway, she was always hanging out with Aaron, and they acted as if they might be dating. Though Lizzie also had strong intuition that wasn't quite the case. It didn't matter to her, so she didn't pursue it. What mattered was that Rose showed no interest in John, and she didn't like how judgmental their psychology class was either. Oh, yay! That's so good. No alcohol at all, huh? Oh no, alcohol. Bleh. Not judging. I was just wondering if it was a personal commitment or something. Oh no, it's just disgusting. Bleh. Alcohol. Ooh. I hate alcohol. Disgusting. That's good. Good, Lizzie. Lizzie was drinking water from a cup. Oh, good on ya, hydration. Delicious. Though she hadn't thought about it, she knew the exact reason. Becoming intoxicated reduced her ability to enjoy John's presence and slightly decreased her combat potential. Thus was to be avoided at all costs. Yep, I understand that too. As well as it being disgusting, I do have other reasons. It's just not to my taste. That's cool. Honestly, some drinks taste so shitty I wonder if people really like it or if society just convinces everyone that they need to like it because it's refined or whatever. Oh yeah, no, that's definitely society and people being stupid. No doubt about that. I mean, people even say they don't like it, they just drink it because alcohol. That's disgusting, I hate that. I hadn't thought about that before. Society convinces us of all kinds of things, like who decided weddings should be these obscenely elaborate performances, and wearing white is just a vestige of absurd older custom. I was hoping to wear white for our wedding. Normally, Lizzie would have followed the tone of the conversation and not offered any contradiction, since that would just lead to annoyances. One reason Rose was acceptable was that she didn't get offended when people disagreed with her, which meant Lizzie didn't have to waste energy on such things. Oh, that's so good! Lizzie's making a friend! Oh, yay! That's 100% fine. If that's what you want. It's just I think some people only stumble into it because that's what society expects. But you're about the last person I'd expect to be that way, Lizzie. Yeah. Really? Yeah. It's pretty obvious you don't care about what other people think. I admire that. Me too, Lizzie. Oh, I love you. Oh, thank you. Lizzie gave her a smile that wasn't faked. One of the few real smiles she'd given to anyone other than him. In the old days, it would never have happened, but being together with John was so wonderful. She felt like she had an excess of happiness, enough to share it with people who were acceptable company when she wasn't there even. Yes! Lizzie, I'm so proud of you. Oh, that's so good. That makes me really happy. Oh man. Their conversation didn't continue for too long after that though, because several of Rose's other friends showed up. Ugh, how annoying. Hate other friends. Oh well. She didn't try to press Lizzie to join them, so Lizzie was soon alone again. Oof. That was fine with her though. She began to ponder if she could collect John and leave. The company didn't seem to have worn him down yet, so perhaps they could stay a little longer. While Lizzie considered that, someone else ambled up beside her. Hey, my man, Aaron, my main man, my man Aaron. Enjoying yourself, Lizzie? Aaron seems really nice. He seems to like Lizzie, which is good. I like that. I appreciate that a lot. Sure, thanks for inviting us. No problem, and glad to hear it. You two are hard to read. Really? Yep. Well, you seem to understand each other on a deeper level, and that's nice to see, honestly. I wish I had a relationship that close. Of course, I don't have one at all right now. Oh, I thought you and Rose... Aaron stopped for a full second, giving her a bizarre expression. He narrowed his eyes as if uncertain if she was being serious. Oh! Oh no. No, don't say that. Don't, Lizzie, do you really not know I'm gay? Oh no! Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but that makes him a threat. Of course, John's quite straight. I'm fairly certain he's very straight. I mean, he's like me and I'm very straight. Surprisingly, you'd be surprised, but I'm very straight, in fact. But I did not know you were gay, but now that you say it, it makes perfect sense. How will Lizzie react, I wonder? She was fine with Rose. She should be okay with Aaron, right? Let's see. And he had been laughing and talking with John earlier. Oh no. And she had remembered that he had slapped John on the back. Had his hand lingered too long? And not only was he single, but he had just said the thing about wanting a relationship like theirs. Oh, that's not what you want to see at all. No, I hadn't noticed. Huh? You had this look in your eyes. Damn, Lizzie, if you were anyone else, I'd almost be offended. What? Oh, I'm just upset I didn't notice. I hope you find a man you love and you two get married. Okay. I'm not trying to have a chip on my shoulder. It's just, you know, the Midwest is a pretty conservative place. I mean it, though. Yeah. Stay away from her, John, is what she means, I think. It took supreme effort of will for Lizzie to finish the conversation without giving the wrong impression. Such a thing would have been impossible for her as she was 3 years ago, but thanks to John... Something's cooking. But thanks to John, she could do a better job of looking outside herself. Yeah, good. Now, imagine his shirt going back down, because I don't need to see that. Though it couldn't touch anything within her, she could intellectually understand what Aaron was saying to her. People disapproving of him was very similar to people who might disapprove of her, so her reaction didn't need to be faked, though he was sharper than most. She didn't think Aaron sensed any of the turmoil inside her. No, and I don't think he would actually go after John. That's just silly, whether he liked him or not. He knows he's straight, he knows he's with you, and he's a good guy. Aaron's all good, Aaron's cool. You know, gay people just like that. They, you know, slap on the back, linger too long. It's affection. Gay people are more affectionate than most guys. It's okay, don't worry. Didn't mean anything. When he finally left, though, she was relieved. How had she missed something so important? Maybe Aaron was a good person, but most weren't. Lizzie had thought she could focus on nothing but her relationship with John, yet now she realized that her focus had given her blind spots. There were other consequences too. Lizzie presumed that John knew and was paying more attention to such things. She had been acting so close to Rose earlier in the party. Had some part of him seen it and worried she might be interested in anyone other than him? No, he knows you love her. Him. He knows you love him, and you know he loves you. Don't worry about it. You're allowed to have friends, Lizzie. It's okay. She didn't fear that John would feel jealous. That wasn't his nature. But he might find some way to doubt his self-worth. Maybe wondering if he wasn't enough for her or something else equally absurd. At his best, he would understand it was false, but if he was depressed, why is it switching between capital or not? It was making me concerned for Lizzie. I don't want her to get into a state where she can't be happy with anyone else. Like, as a friend, she needs to have other friends. She needs to be okay with people. Lizzie realized that instead of taking a drink, she was chewing on the rim of her cup hard enough that she tasted plastic. Ow. Better than her finger since she was in public. But still a sign that she needed to pull back and reconsider. Yeah, calm down, Lizzie. It's okay. Don't worry. We love each other, it's okay. Oh my goodness, Lizzie, please. Slipping out as soon as she could, Lizzie headed back home, trying to integrate the new information. She had thought that social understanding she had developed over the years growing up would be more than enough for her to navigate any social interaction. But plainly, she was too narrow-focused on herself and John. That was where her attention should be, of course, but her anxiety was creeping upward again and wouldn't stop until she felt confident in her analytical abilities again. Oops. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you here. That night, Lizzie decided not to write anything in her notebook. Instead, she just nestled up against John and held him, which he gladly reciprocated. It didn't take too long for her to fall asleep after that. Maybe you should talk to him about it. A bit offensive that you could think he would love anyone but you, but still. The days passed freely enough, and they drifted closer to the end of the year. No threat materialized, but not much changed either. Lizzie was happy for each precious day, though, and clung closer to John. Things were easier now. She had wrote in her notebook occasionally, and often showed him what she'd written. That's good! Oh, that's so cute. I would love to see that. That's adorable. Classes remained tolerable, and she didn't have any problems with obnoxious classmates or other people. Despite all the attention surrounding the speeches and the potential overhaul of the FDCA, everything just stalled in committees. Aaron and a few others kept campaigning, but interest overall died down. Good, so she's not getting all obsessive and crazy. It's good. That's good, Lizzie, that's good. There had been a little tension surrounding Aaron and his group, with John wanting to be involved more, though Lizzie tried her best to hide her anxieties. He still noticed that she was uncomfortable when they were around others, and so wonderful person that he was willing to withdraw. Oh, good on you, John. So they'd spend much of their time together, which was bliss. It could work that way forever, couldn't it? John was an introvert anyway, and she could provide everything that he might possibly need. I don't know, Lizzie, I don't know. That would be ideal, but Lizzie wasn't certain. That was unfortunately impossible for them to be together every second of the day, and despite her best efforts, she was not perfect. Maybe it would be better to develop some kind of secondary defenses, but that would mean giving him up to others temporarily and other unacceptable risks. It's fine, Lizzie, relax. Lizzie pondered everything as she chopped up the vegetables for that day's meal, enjoying the knife work while she thought. John was casually reading on the couch and smiled when he felt her gaze. This was bliss. I thought that was her chopping at first. Unfortunately, a moment later, someone pounded on the door. Pounded with unrelenting fury. Yo, I won't interrupt you, lovebirds, but I want to turn on the news. Well, do it in your own house. What? If he said that, it must have been something significant. Lizzie wasn't sure exactly what they had said, but John had spoken to Aaron about needing more private space. Covering for her, of course, which was wonderful. Though Lizzie felt slightly uncomfortable about the whole thing, John had managed to set everything up smoothly. It's good, good man, Aaron. Aaron was already moving on, leaving them to glance at one another. After a pause, John got up and flipped through channels until he got the one they wanted. What? First rampages in American history. We have just received a report that one of the students in critical care has unfortunately passed away, bringing the total to 11 dead and 2 wounded. What's going on? Lizzie moved to the couch beside John in a flash, eyes fixed on the television, even though she wasn't completely certain why. The news was filled with reports of murders, of course, but the ratio immediately caught her attention. What's going on? John glanced over to her with a thoughtful look. Why would Aaron call us about this in particular? That's true. Just because you're interested? Or something more? The facts of the incident are still coming in. One of the most basic facts must have been relevant. That's a good point. Maybe. It's scrolling at the bottom now. Oh, I think we all know. I recognize that name. It's a town with a major Koitek factory, just like their hometown, he didn't need to say. Distracted by the exact reports of the violence, Lizzie had not noticed the fact. She didn't know the name in any case. It made her heart warm to think that the two of them complemented one another, but whoopsie-daisies. But she was still in a state of rigid alertness. With the lull in updates, the news program was bringing on guests. There was a Koitek representative, which was incredibly suspicious, even though he was the only one making a statement of condolences. After that, an academic was brought on. He was introduced as an expert on violent killings, which immediately attracted her interest. Well, we love that. After pointless introductory questions, things got more interesting. Until the police decide to release direct evidence, is there anything else we can determine about the crime? What's notable is how few were injured compared to those killed. Regardless of the weapon used, that's an unusual statistic. That's true, yeah. And what does that tell us? It might indicate that this was a crime of passion. The individuals killed were targeted specifically, not randomly. Probably that's what I was thinking. Even those hospitalized were severely injured after all. But what could cause a student to go on such a rampage? Well, emotions are always strong in high school. Yeah, I know I went on several rampages when I was in high school. That's a joke, I'm sorry. Jeez. No, that wasn't right. The death to the injury ratio had caught her attention as well. Now, she would know, wouldn't she? And the expert had identified it too. But he was wrong about that. Lizzie didn't want to jump to conclusions, but this is horrible. Do you think it could... Breaking news. The police have released video footage captured during the tragedy to the media. Children and sensitive viewers may not wish to watch the following clip. Neither of them blinked. The news was switched to grainy footage from a security camera on an empty hallway for moments still. Then a student began crawling across the floor, leaving a trail of blood. Broken arm, cut to the intestines, designed to cause pain instead of death. She couldn't see the student's eyes, but she was sure there was an animal fear in them. He was panicking, just trying to get away. A girl appeared on camera. She moved casually, but surprisingly fast. Swinging a baseball bat idly in one hand, the student gave a mangled squawk. Okay. And tried to crawl faster. Is this the Yandere serum? What is this? It didn't matter. The girl lunged forward and brought the bat down on his head. Though the blow was pixelated, Lizzie could practically see the spray of blood. She's pretty cute though. I mean, psychotic. Pretty cute though. I mean, the girl stared down at the body for a moment, face unclear. Then she finally looked up, and she was pretty cute. A mad grin on her face. A pretty cute grin. No, okay, we'll stop. With a peal of laughter, she lunged away, vanishing from the screen. Well, that's not cute. For a few seconds, the footage was only a corpse, set to the ground with her laughter, then cut out abruptly. So, there's some numbers down there. It's a date, I think. 92. Oh, so that's when we are. 1992. Finally. Now I know. And that's 2:37:28. Okay, anyway. That was weird. Only then did Lizzie realize that she was on her feet holding her knife. Her reaction had been instinctive and instantaneous. John looked a little concerned and touched her arm. Lizzie. You're right. She sat down on the couch beside him and carefully set her knife a few inches out of easy reach. Normally, she might be ashamed of herself, but her heart was still beating too rapidly. Lizzie did her best to focus on the broadcast. It's okay, Lizzie, I understand. You're scared. Remind everyone that the suspect was killed by police at the entrance to the school. Her identity and the identities of the victims are still being withheld for the sake of the families. Well, we just saw an image of her, but okay. But if anyone has information concerning... John turned the volume to a low buzz, then looked towards her. His eyes were hard and serious, in a way that normally excited her. But given the circumstances, she was too tense. Well... I know it's early to jump to conclusions, but she was like me, yes. The words felt strange in her mouth, though. This random girl couldn't possibly be like her. Not any more than the other girl at their hometown. She didn't know of another way to say it, though. And she trusted John would understand, of course, yeah. Not like you, but the way she moved. You don't think that was natural, do you? That's disturbing. Oh, I just got an image in my mind and I didn't like it. Ugh. I didn't describe it, but just... ugh. No, she used more strength than a normal girl when she swung her bat, and she was almost as fast as me. Yeah, so like you. In the movements that seen during the video at least, which might not reflect her full speed. Lizzie again had the strong urge to eliminate the girl, despite the fact that she was already dead and couldn't possibly harm John. Yeah, she's dead, it's okay. Mrs. Smith said there was nothing sinister about it, just experiments gone wrong. But for this to happen here, too? Remember the meeting? Koitek prefers to rush through testing with multiple simultaneous experiments. Oh, good memory. I hadn't realized you were listening that closely. Lizzie smiled at him, a little of the tension draining from her. Yes, she was still here beside her John. There was no threat. She needed to quiet her instincts. That didn't mean they were safe, though. There could be much broader threats due to the changes that would happen. She was certain she knew much of the information that would come about the incident, but after that, it looked like John's thoughts had gone in a similar direction, judging from his frown. Do you think this will be the end for Koitek? Will this be the one that they need to bring reform? To her surprise, John leaned against her and breathed a painful sigh. With emotions running high, she hadn't realized how unhappy he looked. No doubt he was thinking of many unpleasant events. I don't know. Maybe it would bring down Koitek. Maybe it will just make things worse. We don't know. Oh, John. She held him closer and stroked his hair gently. Fortunately, he did seem to lighten slightly under her ministrations. They sat there together for a while, watching as the news continued. Meaningful information was coming slower now. But that didn't stop the broadcast from trying to stretch things. And since new information did come out occasionally, she felt like she needed to keep watching. Though it shouldn't have gotten to her, Lizzie found herself more and more anxious as they continued. What would Koitek do if they felt threatened? Could this be a part of some much larger scheme? I don't know. Even if not, what would happen to them? The incident with her and John had been suppressed and gotten no media attention, but this was such a public event. Horror slowly crept up within her mind as she imagined an army of Mrs. Smiths swarming schools around the country, giving out more medication to prevent another such incident. Parents would probably welcome it. She understood human psychology that much. Someone like her might have been targeted. Worse, someone like John would have even less chance. Lizzie realized that she was chewing on her fingers, hard enough to draw blood, only when John gently pulled it from her mouth. It will be okay, Lizzie. Whatever happens, we'll get through this together. Again, there's that fear in his eyes, which I don't like. She nodded and then hugged him tightly, taking refuge in his embrace. He was right, of course, but only if they devoted their full attention to analyzing the potential risk. They stayed together for a while longer. It seemed like the broadcast had even less new information now. Despite all the emotion, Lizzie found herself strangely blank. She wasn't sure if she wanted to forget this had happened or take precautions. Unfortunately, it seemed that John was similarly uncertain, glancing to her just then. So, what do you want to do now? Ooh. Train to prepare for arrival? Nah. Search for more information? Maybe, maybe. Forget about it for now. Possibly. How much longer do we have in the game? I thought we would be finished like an hour ago, to be honest, but... Oh, I don't know. What do you guys think is best? So let me know down in the comments, but I'll probably play it before you get to this point. I might not. We'll see. Search for more information. Forget about it for now. I don't know. I don't know what would be best. I don't know at all. But I guess we'll find out next time, and you guys will have to wait for it, I'm afraid. Sorry about it. Moo-ha-ha. Moo-ha-ha. Ha-ha-ha-ha. And I think tomorrow, if I've got my numbers right, tomorrow we'll have another game of Mixore, get another ending, and then we'll be right back to find out the ending of this. And that will probably be the final episode, I think. Pretty sure. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, then leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought, let me know what you think of Lizzie and their relationship. I think it's great, I think it's healthy, I think they're doing really good, and I think Lizzie has come a long way, and that's good. I think that's really good. I think it's she's shown growth, and it's a good thing. But that's what I think. I don't know, let me know your opinions down in the comments, join the Discord server, link at the bottom of the description, and leave a like and subscribe. I guess that's all I have to say. Share the video, please, if you don't mind. If you could, if you have something to share with me, please share the video or the first video or the playlist or something. Share the channel, please. Get some something. That's all I'm asking. But thank you so much for watching. And until next time, see ya.